update on top accolade news. The headlines: UK Labour divided over welfare reform. Germany pledges 300 million euros in aid to Syria and refugees. North Korea rejects G7 call for denuclearization. Turkey blocks access to global alcohol brand websites. In politics, UK Labour divided over welfare reform. Sir Keir Starmer faces growing dissent within his party as the government prepares to unveil significant changes to the welfare system, including potential cuts to disability benefits. Reports suggest that the government's proposed reforms, led by Works and Pensions Secretary Liz Kendall, could freeze the personal independence payment, a key benefit for disabled people, sparking outrage among Labour MPs. Many backbenchers have expressed frustration at a lack of communication and warned that they would vote against such measures. As Labour wrestles with the issue, Conservative Shadow Work and Pension Secretary Helen Watley criticized the party for its divisions and failure to deliver a clear plan for welfare reform. Shifting focus to economy, Germany pledges 300 million euros in aid to Syria and refugees. Germany is committing an additional 300 million euros or $326 million in humanitarian aid for Syria, announced on Monday ahead of an EU-led donor conference in Brussels. Over half of the fund will directly support people within Syria by passing the country's transitional government. The aid will provide essential services such as food, healthcare, emergency shelters, and protection for vulnerable population. Additionally, Syrian refugees and host communities in neighboring countries will also benefit from the support. In security, North Korea rejects G7 call for denuclearization. North Korea has firmly rejected the G7's call for denuclearization, vowing to steadily update and strengthen its nuclear capabilities. In a statement released by the country's foreign ministry, it reiterated that its nuclear forces are essential to protecting the nation's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The announcement follows a meeting of G7 foreign ministers who called for North Korea to abandon its nuclear weapons and missiles program in line with the United Nations Security Council resolutions. North Korea, however, emphasized that its nuclear program is enshrined in its national law and will not change based on international demands. The regime also highlighted that its nuclear development helps prevent war and guarantees global strategic stability. Still in security, Turkey blocks access to global alcohol brands websites. Turkey has blocked access to the official websites of several internationally recognized alcohol brands, following rulings by the Agriculture and Forestry Ministry's Tobacco and Alcohol Department. The sites of global brands were restricted, marking a shift in the country's approach to online alcohol content. Unlike local sites tailored for Turkey, these global platforms require age verification, but this is the first time such restrictions have been enforced. While alcohol sales remain legal in Turkey, advertising is prohibited and high taxes on alcoholic beverages have led to a rise in illicit production. Businesses selling alcohol after 10 p.m. also face heavy fines, intensifying concerns over Turkey's cultural stance against alcohol consumption. You are watching the Global News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. In conflict, clashes erupt along Lebanon-Syria border following deadly attack on Syrian soldiers. Tensions between Lebanon and Syria escalated overnight, with fighting erupting along the border after 3 Syrian soldiers were killed in clashes. Syrian state media reported a deadly exchange as both Syrian and Lebanese forces worked to de-escalate the situation. Lebanese troops were deployed in large numbers, while families in border regions fled amid violence and shelling. The Syrian interim government accused Hezbollah militants of killing and kidnapping 3 Syrian soldiers in Lebanese soil, a claim Hezbollah has denied. However, Syrian state media indicated that Hezbollah gatherings were targeted in retaliation. Although the fighting subsided before dawn, there were reports of renewed violence with the Syrian military vehicle attacked. The full scale of casualties remain unclear as tensions continue to mount. Moving to disaster. Devastating nightclub fire in North Macedonia claimed 59 lives. North Macedonia is reeling from a devastating nightclub fire that killed at least 59 people and injured 155 others in the town of Kokini. The blaze erupted early Sunday at club balls, where overcrowding and safety violations, including blocked exits and a lack of fire extinguishers, contributed to the tragic loss. Authorities are investigating allegations of bribery and corruption, as the club was operating without a proper license and far beyond its capacity. The fire has sparked national outrage, with survivors recounting harrowing escape attempts and the nation in mourning for victims, many of whom were young people. The government has ordered an urgent nationwide inspection of nightclubs, and neighboring countries are offering medical support for most critically injured. As North Macedonia grapples with this catastrophe, the country faces deep questions about safety regulations, corruption, and its future. In entertainment, Trump signs order to cut funding for Voice of America. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order targeting Voice of America, accusing the federally funded news organization of being anti-Trump and radical. The order instructs the U.S. Agency for Global Media to reduce VOA's operation, which has led to staff being placed on paid leave, with reports indicating cuts to freelancers and contractors. Critics, including the National Press Club, argue that the move undermines press freedom and the independence of US-funded media. Now in sports, Michail Antonio reflects on near-fatal car crash. West Ham's record Premier League goalscorer Michail Antonio has opened up about the terrifying car crash that left him with a shattered leg and in the hospital for over 3 weeks. The incident, which took place in December, saw Antonio's Ferrari crash into a tree, leaving the player trapped in immense pain. Antonio, who remembers little about the crash, describes the feeling of seeing the wrecked car weeks later, saying it made him realize just how close he came to losing his life. Despite the severity of his injuries, Antonio is determined to return to football at the highest level, calling the experience a second chance at life. That concludes our global news updates for today. Stay tuned for more global news and developments. Thanks for joining us. I am Ojo Rumi Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.